Hey, welcome back to the CommonGround North Dakota podcast. I'm Heather.
And I'm Jen.
I've been a chef for 10 years.
And I'm a registered dietitian. We've all heard the saying, farm to table. But what if the conversation was table to farm?
Join Jen and I as we sit down with ag experts to dig in and find out more about North Dakota agriculture.
So I blew my 9-year-old's mind by being on YouTube. Now I feel like I've won the game of life. She probably doesn't think so, but
But
it is what it is.
They're
We're
impressed
kind of
by
famous.
that. They're impressed by that.
We're kind of famous, and now I'm hearing from my friends that they're listening to it. So thanks, friends.
Yes.
Thanks, friends, for listening.
And this is our 6th episode today,
It is.
right? Which I don't think people realize this, but we didn't even know each other before this.
And
So,
now I miss it. If we don't record in a week, I'm like, I wonder what Heather's doing.
yeah, it's been so fun, getting to know you
Yes.
and about your family, your mini horse. I mean, no offense to your family.
I mean,
but the
he
mini
is pretty
horse
cool.
was my favorite
I know.
fact about Jen.
I still need to get these guys some clips of Galahad.
Yes. And when I remember our
Yep.
first meeting when we were trying to talk about guests,
Yeah.
and our guest today was mentioned that we wanted to interview her. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Yes.
And
so
now
we've
we're
been trying
making
to
these
connect.
things a reality, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Our networking at our best, and hey, I'd really like this person, and then they show up on the
And
guest
we have
list.
them. Well, and typically we have our guest in studio with us today.
Right. Yeah, but
we not today.
not today. We're being techie.
Yes.
Good for us, right? Because the North Dakota is a big state.
Well, right.
It takes a while to drive across. When you explain to people that, maybe from another state, you're like, well, it takes 8 hours to drive across the state. And they're like, what?
And that's a lot to ask.
It is.
Right.
It is, especially in our weather, you never know what you're going to get.
Mm-hmm.
So absolutely.
Yes. So joining virtually today.
Yes, we have Angela.
Thanks for joining us, Angela. Hello.
Hello, ladies. Thanks for the invite.
Yes,
Yeah.
good morning. So yes, we talked about you, our first meeting of Common Ground North Dakota. We said we've got to get her on the
Yes.
show. So we're so excited to have you today.
Well, that's very fun.
Yes.
I'm really excited to be part of it. You said 6th episode.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope it keeps growing, and we're talking about it on your 60th episode or your 600th episode. So
Us too.
Yeah. It's been a really fun journey, just getting to know people from across the state and talk about their stories and how they're connected with agriculture. So that's what
Absolutely.
we're going to ask you. We're
Yeah,
going to
'cause
ask
we
all
have-
the questions.
We haven't interviewed anyone from Williston.
No.
So, and your connection to agriculture is your husband is a farmer, correct?
correct. So my husband is a 4th generation farmer from Williston. So he's got his dad still working with him on the farm and his brother's full-time farming. So it is quite the experience coming from a non-farming family to see how it all works together.
A bit of a learning curve for you?
Little bit of a learning curve. I've made my mistakes on the farm, and I've learned a lot of new technology and new words on the farm. So it's been fun. But this will be my 12th year being around the farm for
Oh, wow.
So yeah.
So what's your role in your family farm?
I bring out the food. I'm in
Nice.
charge
That's a
of
big
dinners.
job.
Nice.
Yeah.
You keep
So
them
it works
happy.
really well with my business since I own a kitchen store. So my expertise is, lunch and dinner and maybe a few cocktails after the hard work.
Oh, I love it.
Oh my goodness.
That sounds
I want to work on
fantastic.
your farm. That
I know.
sounds
I just
nice.
remember bringing my grandpa out, because that was kind of my role, help grandma with the lunches.
Yeah.
That was lunch, and he always had jelly beans in his little metal lunchbox and the Stanley thermos of coffee.
Keep
Oh
them
gosh,
going.
very similar. I mean,
Mhm.
I always think it's just the farming aspect, but everybody has their little bag of candy when they're
Yep.
seeding or harvesting. You always have to have a little sweet,
Yep.
if you're going to be
Oh.
sitting in the tractor for a few hours. So
It's a
Okay.
thing.
I didn't know this. I like that.
Yeah.
Keep you going.
Yeah. So
It
tell
is.
us about your cooking store.
Yeah, I really want to talk about we started with the farming, but now can we talk about
I
the
know.
cooking?
Yeah, the
store?
dietitian and chef in us is dying to know.
Which-
What is how did you start it?
Because you were with Target before, right? For almost 10 years working in
Yep.
Minneapolis.
Yep. So I grew up in Williston and then went to school at NDSU and then moved on to Minneapolis and worked at Target's corporate office for 10 years. I did everything from being a business analyst to being a buyer, to being a manager of department. And then at the end, my team actually managed a lot of the circular pricing. So the old flyers you used to get in your mail every Sunday, my team did the pricing for that.
Oh,
so
wow.
that was kind of my corporate background, which really set me up for success opening up Cooks on Main. I opened up in 2010, so like right before the oil boom. I did not know my husband yet at that point.
Did you see the oil boom coming? Is that one of your reasons for wanting to go back, or you were ready for a change?
I was definitely ready for a change. We knew that the oil industry was coming, and so we knew that would be a really great opportunity. But I had some really big life-changing things happen around that time. I'd lived in the cities for 10 years, and my best friend's mom, who was like my second mom, passed away from ovarian cancer.
Okay.
My last grandparent had passed away, and my sister was pregnant in Minot with my second niece. So I just really felt it was like a perfect time to come home and be around family. And there was this just really great opportunity in downtown Williston with a building and a business need. They used to have a kitchen store here growing up, and it had been closed probably for 15, 18 years.
Okay.
Wow.
So when I put the offer of the building, I'm like, I'm coming home and I'm opening up a kitchen store. So it worked out really well.
So you put an offer on the building and then told everyone you were coming home?
I did.
Oh
so
my gosh, it was like a surprise. That's awesome.
It was a big surprise for everybody. I put an offer in on a building when I was home for the 4th of July, or it might have been Memorial Day weekend. And I didn't really think I would get it because there was a lot of, starting to see activity for the potential of the oil boom coming. And like 6 weeks later, they're like, we accepted your offer. Are you coming?
Wow.
And I was like, yeah, I guess I'm quitting my job and I'm moving home.
Oh, that's amazing.
I love it. So what kinds of things do you stock at your store? And do you primarily have North Dakota products? Do you try to get more of those?
Absolutely. So we're a full service culinary center. So we can do everything from cookware to barware, cutlery, glasses, small electrics like mixers. We do a lot of specialty food, coffee, tea, and I have about 24 linear feet of North Dakota products. So wherever we can source, wherever we can source North Dakota made, other small businesses, we really, really go after that. Because
great.
we lift each other up and we will all do better. So
that's amazing. I love the local support. I love supporting our state of North Dakota. And just it's amazing from what Heather and I are learning, like how far our products spread over the country.
The global,
and in the world.
Yeah, the global reach has been such an interesting thing that we've learned in every episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think when you look at North Dakota, we're such a diverse state, even though we don't have as large of a population as maybe some other states, but we do have this really kind of entrepreneur, thoughts. I mean, a lot of people grew up on the farm.
Yeah.
That usually gives extra time for the women in the family to, kind of go out on their own and their own businesses. So a lot of, companies started with mom or grandma making jams or jellies or their favorite dip and spread, and all of a sudden they are now their own business as well. And so a lot of the North Dakota products really have a farming background in their history. And so that's really fun to see it kind of diverge, but be very supportive of the same industry.
That's very neat. So tell us a little bit about what your husband and his family farm.
Yeah, so we farm all small grains. We don't do any cattle or any livestock. So we do lentils, peas, wheat, and durum.
What kind of lentils are you guys growing?
Pennels. So they're like little green lentils that we do. So very interesting plant. I will tell you, I never knew what a lentil plant looked like before.
What do they look like?
They're like little small, maybe 6, 12, 18, if you have good brain, little bushes, and all of these little pods have these very small seeds, which are the lentils. They're very delicate. And so, we always hope when harvest comes that we don't have a lot of wind because they are very delicate and they'll shell out just like peas do.
Really? So are a lot of people growing lentils, or is that something unique to your farm?
I think we're seeing a lot more pulse crops in general come up. They're really good at
pulse crops. Angela, what's a pulse crop?
Another word
I
for
only know-
lentils and
I only know
peas
a
and
little bit,
beans, pulses.
I'm gonna pulse
Mhm.
crop. Okay, that's good to know. Then we can
Yep.
find,
So like
okay.
peas and lentils are all pulse crops.
Pulse
they grow
crops.
in pods.
Mhm.
And,
Okay.
they're really good for the, the soil. They help put nutrients back in. Wheat and durum, while they are historically very popular in North Dakota and will continue to be, North Dakota will continue to be a top supplier of the world on it. It takes a lot of energy and it takes a lot out of the soil.
Okay.
And so a lot of companies and a lot of, farmers are rotating their crops with these pulse crops that add nutrients and nitrogen back into the soil. So it's helping regenerate the soil for the next crops. And
So like in crop rotation, you're
this
talking.
crop
Yes.
rotation thing is
Yeah.
important for the
I know,
soil. And
right?
so you're working those in, but it is still a good crop. I mean, you're selling this.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So do you
Yeah,
have those products, like some of the lentils that your husband and family grow? Do you have them in your store?
I don't yet,
Oh.
but we've been talking about that, and you'll probably see some of our products in our store by Christmas this year. We're lucky in our store. I have a full culinary center, so it's like a full commercial kitchen.
Oh, cool.
It's state rated, and so we do classes and events and catering. But it does open up the possibility for us to be able to create our own flours or sell our product.
Wow,
because we use a
fun.
state inspected cleaner for our
Right.
seed. And so we can actually sell wheat germ, or we could actually sell peas and turn them into pea flour or lentils too.
Wow.
So
That's
that
so
is
cool.
definitely on the docket for the future.
And so your kitchen, that's part of your store, that was an expansion, right? In 2010.
Yep. So 2010, I opened up the business, and
Okay.
we're in our original location, which is in 1907, like brownstone in downtown
Oh, wow.
Williston,
Sounds
which
adorable.
is beautiful.
Yeah.
And we purchased the building next to us, and we remodeled and opened our kitchen in 2017.
Okay, so 7 years later, you were just
Yep.
busting at the seams and needed more space?
We did. The thing that was so nice about the influx with the oil industry is it really allowed small businesses like myself to grow very quickly and build some of that capital that most businesses would have taken 15 or 20 years to do.
Mhm.
We also had the opportunity. We have a chef who is born and raised in Williston. She went to Le Cordon Bleu in Las Vegas. Her
Wow.
name's Allison Heldy. And we're getting such a big draw of people wanting that hands-on experience to learn new techniques. And it's just a fun date night. We wanted to build a center that we could keep her full-time at the store and leverage her expertise for our customers. So it was kind of like a perfect storm of a few different things that
cool.
allowed us to
Okay.
do that.
You had the talent, so you wanted to make a bigger stage for her and her classes. That makes sense.
Yeah. So tell us
Absolutely.
more about these classes. What kinds of classes?
If the roads were better, I think I'd try to drive
right?
down tonight for your Walleye Wednesday class.
Oh, what?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Walleye Wednesday. Yeah. So, our classes are so diverse and they're so fun. Typically I would say 95% of our classes are hands-on, which is very unique in the industry. A lot of people will do classes, but there'll be demonstration where
Right.
they'll bring in a chef, they'll talk through the skills, and then you have a meal afterwards.
Mhm.
Ours are really hands-on. So tonight, we have 18 people coming to class, and they're
Wow,
all
fun.
going to fillet and do their walleye in different preparations. And then we do a big family meal at the end.
Oh, that's cool.
So they may try it 4 different ways. And then we
Okay.
always provide like sides and desserts as well.
Okay.
But we do everything from like date night to proteins like walleye. We do baking. We do bread cooking. We do cake decorating. We do kids classes, which are
fun.
That's
honestly just
fun.
amazing. Yeah.
Okay.
So do you feature these North Dakota products in your classes?
Yes, absolutely. We feature, so like tonight, one of our items is going to be using the walleye breading that
Okay.
is from one of our North Dakota providers, and then we also are going to do some of the dips that we get from Thunderbird and incorporate them into like a walleye dip. So it's always fun to pull in those North Dakota products when
Yep.
we can. We've worked with the Pea and Lentil Association a few years back. They
Okay.
actually did a cookbook,
Oh,
a
really?
beautiful cookbook on how to use those pulse crops.
Yes.
Look at me.
I think I've
throwing
seen
it in there
those.
for you.
Yes,
I think
yes,
I've seen
thank
that
you.
cookbook before.
Do you have
Yeah,
that at
and-
your store? The cookbook?
We do. And so we did a
Yeah.
whole class specifically on pulse crops, brought in some farmers, and then everybody got the cookbook to go. So
Oh,
we
that's
really
really
try to
cool.
highlight the region when we can.
So I love to promote those just as a registered dietitian, the pulses and peas and lentils, because I feel like it's a underutilized
Yes,
Absolutely.
not enough people
Don't you
use.
agree?
I love lentils. I'm always using them.
And like nutritional value, they're super high in fiber.
Mm-hmm.
Great fiber for lowering cholesterol, lowering blood pressure. They're high in potassium. Again, that counteracts sodium. Our diets are so high in sodium that when I do nutritional analysis, a lot of times I review food records and I'm like, there's hardly any potassium, but the sodium is through the roof. So pulses.
So if you eat too much salt and you have some lentils, that's going to help.
It balances it out because of we're getting into like human metabolism and the cell itself, but it's
So
like
nice
the
having a
sodium
dietitian
potassium
here.
pump in
Okay.
your cell that regulates. Yeah.
Well, and they're
The cell.
versatile. Like I like using them in the kitchen because you
Right.
can make them taste like whatever you want. I'm always making
sure.
dals or soups or it's funny because my husband used to think he didn't like lentils. And then I broke it to him that I make them twice a week.
That's hilarious.
And I would tell him it was like a hot dish, an Indian hot dish.
Well, yeah, and that's what
And
I mean.
he
You can
loved it.
use it in a variety of ways, right? And they have a lot of protein,
Ton of protein.
which a lot of people don't understand. Like, so you were talking about your grains, right?
Okay.
Your husband farms grains and lentils. Well, as a dietitian, we like to complement them because then they're a complete protein.
So you can put your lentils over the grain.
Yes, and then you can have just as much protein as meat.
And I think, Jen, that one thing that other people don't realize is how much lentils and peas are used in, like you said, dietary things. Like,
Yes.
I mean, one of the biggest exports that we do with peas here in the U.S. as well as in North Dakota is to Canada. And they actually grind the peas and they put them in shakes.
Yeah,
So
pea
like
protein.
shakes, like most of the
Super
people that are
popular right
doing
now.
some sort of, diet program or shake program, if they look on the back of it, if it's not a soy-based one, which you're seeing less of, it is usually
Pea
a
protein.
pea protein
Yep,
flour
absolutely.
that's in there as their base. It's a filler. It has that fiber. It's very healthy for you. And
Absolutely.
so it's a great way to incorporate it into your diet.
Yep.
And I do think people are finally starting to realize how versatile it is. So like lentils, I love. Yes, you could put them in hot dishes, but you can do cold salads with them. You can use them as a meat replacement in a chili recipe.
Yes.
And so it is really a very versatile product. Very similar, I'd say, like for people that are used to using a rice.
Yeah.
You could easily use lentils in place of that once you
Absolutely.
soak them and get all of those added benefits from using them.
Well, and I think people are intimidated.
They are, and they
correct
don't
me
know
if I'm
what they
wrong.
are. They just get
Or
nervous.
They're like, what do I do with this
Yeah.
dried product? But it's super easy. Like you were saying,
Super.
you just literally throw them in water and soak
cook
them
them.
overnight and cook them. And
Yeah.
you can have them. And like for people that need easy recipes, easy protein, they're like, I don't know. As a dietitian, I always hear like, well, Jen, I don't know what to make. I'm bored with it. And we get in these food jags, right?
Yeah.
Where you're like, I make spaghetti every week.
you want to switch it up a little bit.
Well, trying some of these products and putting them into things like a rice bowl or a taco hot dish. I mean, that'd be super easy.
yeah, I
just
love
to
the idea of a
add the
taco
beans.
hot dish. Or
Right?
I did a Kung Pao lentil a couple weeks ago.
Oh, wow.
Just made like a really nice sauce, put it on the lentil. I mean, it's anything you want it to
Yum.
be. And when served over rice with a little side of vegetable, it was beautiful.
So
Complete
good.
meal.
Tasty.
And I think that people like my favorite lentil recipe right now is kind of like, we're into the winter vegetables. And so a lot of people are roasting like sweet potatoes and squashes and, you might have beets. Like I'm a huge beet fan. Well, you have all of those extra vegetables left. It's like if you already have some cold lentils that you maybe boiled up the day before or cooked, it's like throw them into a bowl, throw your vegetables, maybe throw in some sunflower seeds and a quick vinaigrette, and you have a salad for lunch.
Yes.
That
So
sounds
super
really good.
delicious.
I want that now. So
I know, right?
obviously, we're excited about lentils. So you grow those. You grow peas. You said, and what was the grain you mentioned?
We do wheat and durum.
Oh, wheat and durum too.
So both for pasta and bread, all the good things in life, right?
You're making a lot of our food groups. Thank you.
I know, right?
Yep.
The plate is balancing out.
Like it.
I love it. So another question we're wondering is, are Pride of Dakota products incorporated into your store? You mentioned North Dakota grown, but do you have that Pride of Dakota?
Absolutely.
Okay,
So
cool.
I was actually exposed to Pride in North Dakota pretty early, still when I was in high school here, when it was just starting. My dad actually owned a business here in town, Waltz Market, for many, many years. He sold it, probably 15 years ago. So it's kind of changed hands. But he actually created products. So he has 8 of his own products,
wow.
marinades, rubs, and mustards and sauces that we sell in store that are all through Pride in North Dakota.
Oh,
but
cool.
I remember going to the Pride in North Dakota shows.
Yes.
And you see all these moms and pops doing, it could be anything from food products to crafting to woodworking. And it's just a great way, again, to support other small businesses. They might be doing it just for, fun. They may be fundraising for their kids to go to college. These shows support these small businesses that really may not have an outlet like Cooks on Main to make some money. And so we always are looking at that list and the new vendors and reaching out to them to say like, hey, I'm looking for this product. Does anybody in Williston or in North Dakota carry it that we can source? And so it's been so fun to see over the last 20, 25 years with Pride in North Dakota, how many more options are out there for North Dakota businesses.
Because it's grown a lot, hasn't it, over the years?
A lot.
And so, Angela, can we buy those products online from you?
Yes, you can.
Great.
So it's very, very easy. It's just cooksonmain.com.
Okay.
And then you can literally, I have an entire section and it's called Shop ND. On my site, and you just click on it and it has like all of my North Dakota products. We have it broken out by brand. We're going to be changing it a little bit so it's more by like product style, like jams and jellies.
Yeah.
But right now it's by brand. Or you can always call us at our store, which is just 701-572-COOK, which is 2665. And we're always willing to help any of our customers in the region or even outside of the region.
Fun.
What's really fun with our online business, especially with the Pride in North Dakota, is we just finished 2022 and I just looked at all of our numbers. We ship North Dakota products specifically to 28 different states in the last year.
That's awesome. So all of our friends like listening from out of state, guess what? You can order our North Dakota products. So rewind the podcast and just get Angela's information.
Cooksonmain.com. And I'd imagine you could curate a cute little gift basket for the holidays or birthday.
Exactly. We do tons of gift baskets. So we send those out. You could special order them. We've done corporate gifting as well. That's really fun. So we did corporate gifting a couple of years ago for our hospital here in town. And they have a lot of travel nurses and doctors that are kind of coming in and out of the region during that really busy time, 2015 to 2018. And we did these huge gift baskets of all North Dakota products because so many of them weren't native to Williston or to North Dakota. And so it was a great way to expose them of all the different great options and products available.
What a good idea.
Hopefully some people from Altru are listening.
There you go. See, we will always help you. We'll always help you with that.
Gifting is my other job.
I think it's such a great idea, though, because people don't know the amount of products that come from North Dakota. I mean, here's 2 women from North Dakota, and we're learning so much about products that come from North Dakota.
And I think people are starting to really realize like what an impact North Dakota agriculture has, not only in the U.S., but the world. I mean, when you look at like I think we're like number 1 provider of like 18 agricultural items. I always blow people's mind when I speak at different engagements.
It's unbelievable.
Retail. It's like North Dakota is the number 1 provider of honey, and people are like, "What?
And I don't get it. What?
Yes.
That doesn't make sense." And we're like small in population, but mighty in the things that we do.
Yes,
exactly. So it's so fun to see, especially the last couple of years with the North Dakota products. It's not just jams and jellies and dips. I mean, there is so many products out there that North Dakota people are producing that have such a high quality compared to so many things on the market, especially in the food industry. They really take care of what they're producing, and they're doing things in small batches, whether it be like Farber Farms out of Sydney, Montana. I think they're Sydney. They're doing dried lentils, as a product that's seasoned so you can put them on different salads. Or, like these pie fillings, and there's pottery, and there's just so many things out there. And all of these small crafters really take ownership and pride in everything they do. So the quality is just outstanding.
So that's what we're hearing from a lot of our agricultural experts that we bring on the show. Quality is very important to us in North Dakota, which is why we're seeing on the world market is so valuable, I feel like. So you mentioned something when you were talking about your lentil products that you're certified or something.
Yeah,
Can you
your
explain
kitchen
more about that?
Is state certified, you said?
There's a couple of different things. So like our Cooks on Maine's commercial kitchen isn't just like a commercial kitchen like a restaurant, which has gone through state inspection. We're actually certified in a commercial, so we can actually process and sell products through our kitchen if we choose. So like we can actually grind grains and bag them and sell them as flour because it's using a state inspected facility, just like, any of the big guys that are producing flours. You have to go through a state inspection to make sure everything is at the standard of the cleanliness and making sure that there's no compromise or any risk of, foreign bodies being part of that process. And so we went above and beyond when we built our kitchen to make sure that we had that standard. So pretty much everything in our kitchen is stainless steel. So everything can be wiped down and everything can be sanitized, which is really great.
Nice.
It looks nice and it's able to be sanitized.
Yes. Well, and I'm just imagining of all the things you can do when you're talking about grinding grains.
Yep.
I mean, I think immediately we think about flours, but what you're seeing in Europe now, what they're doing, incorporating into breads, especially sourdoughs, are beans. So they're taking dry beans, or I'm thinking your lentils, grinding those off and then incorporating them into a dough. That would be so fun.
Yeah.
It is. And it's, we're starting to see that artisan bread movement really take over the last 3 to 4 years. And I think that's really great because people are being very well aware of where their grain is coming from. So where they're getting their wheat germ from, or where they're getting their milled flours from. What is the coarseness they want so that they can have all those added flavors. And I think things like not even, maybe one of our smaller grains in North Dakota could be like oats.
Right.
I mean, rolled natural oats. Like if you do a rolled natural oat compared to buy oatmeal at the grocery store, like it would blow your mind.
Right.
Like it is so nutty. You could taste the sweetness in it. You do not need brown sugar. And it's because it's so fresh, because a grain, a lot of people don't realize, doesn't actually start losing any of its nutritional value until it's cracked.
Right.
So either until it's processed into a flour or till it's rolled into an oat. It's like very stable. And so when you do it fresh and then cook it right away, I mean, the difference you get in a fresh milled product versus something that's been on the shelf for who knows how long is insanely different.
You can't compare them.
Yeah.
You cannot compare them.
That's amazing.
Yeah. We need to make some bread now.
I know. Like out of all these different like pulses and grains.
We'll send you a little care package with all the fun things.
I can't do cooking demos though. Like when a dietitian does a cooking demo, it's like a gong show. That's what I tell it. But there's like a misconception, don't you think? Like, oh, you're a dietitian. Can you cook for us or can you order lunch? I'm like,
well, you can order lunch.
Well, I can. Like, I know how, but it's like, okay, like. I'm automatically the food person.
Yeah, a lot of expectations on you.
Lots. So, like, I mean, Heather's an expert in doing cooking demonstrations. Jen's like, hold on, I can't talk and cook at the same time.
But I love that you're doing the hands-on demonstrations.
Totally.
That is a whole different ballgame, right? Keeping everyone on course and then being able to bring home that product. And you learn so much more when you're touching and feeling, and there's like a sound to it, especially with bread. There's a sound that your dough makes when it's just has the right amount of moisture in it. And unless you're right there next to the mixer, you can't hear that.
Exactly. And I think, so many people are wanting to invest in their kitchen. They want to cook at home. We're seeing a huge movement for people, really maintaining that at-home cooking that kind of was a result of COVID. They want to invest in really good products. And that's what Cooks on Main specializes is in those high-end, mid to high-end brands. Like we want something that you're going to have for years to come. Like I don't want to sell you a fry pan that you're going to have for 6 months. I want to sell you a fry pan that you're going to have for 30 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so our Culinary Center gives all of our clients that chance and that opportunity to actually work with it. So if you want to invest in like an item from Le Creuset, which is cast iron enamel from France, a lot of people aren't going to spend a couple $100 on a piece unless they know that they like it.
Right.
Yeah, try it before you buy it, right?
Yep.
And and so this is a way that everybody gets a chance to try it and see if it works in their household, because not every product is for every family.
Right.
And so we really love using our Culinary Center as that kind of trial. Come in, try it out, see what you like.
Absolutely. That's fun. So,
are we ready for halftime?
I think so.
Did you hear about this?
No.
I always laugh. They were showing me clips of our last host halftimes. I'm going to try not to make weird faces so they show up on clips later.
We're kind of putting you on the spot here, but we just need you to come up with 3 questions pertaining to maybe what's happening on your farm or North Dakota agriculture in general. So it could be some of your North Dakota made products in your store. And there's a huge competition here between Jen and I. All right. And right now she's ahead, Angela.
Okay.
You see this?
And we've got a golden corn trophy that's at stake. Okay. So whoever is closest gets the point. And there's 3 questions.
3 questions.
We haven't had a tie yet. We almost did. And then it's whoever answers.
Yeah. And then they made us race and I was sweating. Yeah. It was like...
So anything that comes to mind. I mean, it could be anything.
Okay. Are you ready?
Ready.
You want to do it right now?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. How many different companies are part of Pride of North Dakota right now?
Oh my.
There's a lot.
It's tough.
She said there's a lot.
I know. So how much is a lot?
I'm just thinking, I know that there's a wait list to get in the show. I heard that recently. Yeah. And then I'm just imagining how many booths there were when I was at the last show at the Alderas. I'd say... I don't know.
I have no idea. So this is a shot in the dark.
425?
250.
544.
Whoa! I was way off.
544. That's amazing.
500.
Okay.
Hey,
I know.
Gotta
crazy,
up my
right?
game here.
And your dad has how many products? Did you say 7?
My dad has right now, I think, 14 different products.
Wow.
Cool.
Okay. Let's see. I'm trying to make it fair.
Okay. What would Jen know?
I don't know. Oh, this is hard on the spot.
I know.
To think of things, right?
I know I would be terrible.
Okay. How many different unique products do I carry that are made in North Dakota?
Oh, you said you had a lot. Okay. 175.
50.
I am currently at 147.
Oh, wow, Heather.
And what?
I'm like really low on all.
How big is your retail space?
My retail space is just a little bit over 4,500 square feet.
Wow.
Whoa.
But the thing that's so fun is like you have, different honeys. Like I have one producer of honey just south of North Dakota or south of Williston, and she makes 48 different varieties of creamed honey.
Because they all taste different, don't they?
48?
Yes.
That's amazing.
I mean, there's some really unique ones. Like, who doesn't want a little butter rum honey on your toast during the holiday?
Or in my coffee. Okay.
Yeah, that sounds delicious.
I'm going to add that to my gift basket.
Yeah. Same.
Okay. Let's see.
I'm totally losing.
I mean, isn't it? I mean, do we need a
get
third
double points like from this?
Or...
We'll just
this
do
one's
it
going to be
we
just
do 3.
a shot in the dark. So kind of think about the farming families.
Okay.
How old was John's grandpa when he farmed his last season in a combine? So how old?
I feel like he's a go-getter with that candy, keeping him. I'm going to say 87.
98.
He was 87.
This is the best halftime show ever.
I totally lost.
Angela, are you going to tell her that we talked before, or we're just going to keep that to ourselves?
Exactly. But you guys, I think that just shows what farming does. I mean, these farmers
sadly erased my name here.
87.
87. They're active and they're strong. And this is not a job that people
87.
do 9 to 5. Like farmers it's 365 days of the year. And trust me, they do not want to retire.
He must love what he does if he's working at 87.
He loves what he does. And
purpose. It gives him purpose, right?
Yep. That last year, we kind of made sure he got up into the combine and got down. But I mean, he would have done it until he was 95 if he could. I mean, they just don't ever want to retire, which I think just shows them how much they love the land and what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. Heather, I wrote your name for you since I lost so badly.
When you have such great handwriting. I appreciate it.
I feel like we switch off every other time. I got to do more research next time. I got to up my game.
Yes. I can't get over 87 years old. So
87.
So your husband's brother is working with him too now?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, that's
so
fun.
we have 2 generations fully working. So his dad is still part of the farm. He's kind of at the point that he gets to do the fun stuff. So he does a lot of seeding and a lot of harvest.
Mm-hmm.
And then my husband, John, and his brother, Chris, kind of maintain the farm the rest of the year. So it is a full-time job for, every day in the summer. When we get a rain day, we really love it because it's good for the crops. And I get to see my husband more than a few hours a day.
Yes.
So
it's a commitment.
For that. It is a commitment. It is. And I think of those farming families out there that also have livestock, and I'm just blown away because it is an all day, everyday job. I mean, they eat, breathe, and live the land.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
So we have a final question for you.
Sure.
What's your favorite part about being a part of North Dakota agriculture?
Oh, I think the passion. I think the passion that North Dakota agriculture has is just like, it's just built into who we are. Even though I didn't grow up in the agricultural industry, I respect it. I love it. And now that I've been part of it for almost 12 years, I'm just amazed what our little piece of land in North Dakota does, not only for the people who live here by providing, support and their livelihood, but what we do for the world. I mean, we really do feed the world. And without us, it would be really hard to see what the world would look like. And so I just am so impressed that such a few number of people and farms have such a ripple effect on the industry across the world. So the passion that they bring is just, it's amazing.
It is amazing. Well, and you have that passion too. We're so impressed with what you're doing in Williston.
Absolutely. We want to come visit.
Yes,
absolutely.
We'll be visiting.
Anytime.
Yes, we'll probably visit your website first, but then we'll make our way to Williston. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for thinking of me. I had a great time, and I can't wait to hear all the future podcasts and what you bring on the show. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate it, Heather and Jenn.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks, Angela.
Well, that was a fun one.
That was great.
All right.
I mean, we made our dreams come true.
Yes. Well, listen to us on YouTube. You can find us on YouTube, anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Yep.
Our website. Yeah, I can't miss us.
No, we're all over.
All right. Until next time.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to the Common Ground North Dakota podcast. Make sure to follow us on social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Most importantly, send us your questions about North Dakota agriculture by visiting our website. You might win a prize. We'll see you in the next episode of the Common Ground North Dakota podcast.